Weather coverage you can count on with Chief Meteorologist Kate McKenna and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Well, it's pretty much a picture-perfect day for mid-June in North Alabama, just for the sole reason that we've managed to get rid of the humidity, and maybe temporary, but I say enjoy it while we've got it. It's perfect outside. 88 degrees right now in Muscle Shoals. I know that seems like it's pretty warm. It is pretty warm. It just feels a lot better than if we were dealing with that humidity. It was feeling like we were in the upper 90s rather than the upper 80s. 87 degrees in Huntsville, mid-80s for Decatur and Guntersville. Barely a cloud in the sky. So it makes sense that all across the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network, it's a pretty quiet picture. Each one of our 3 radars is showing that. No activity being picked up by our Muscle Shoals radar. Minute-by-minute scans out of Decatur showing more of the same. Of course, it's no different for Guntersville, all around Marshall County, Jackson, and DeKalb counties as well. So if you're planning on maybe walking the dog, dining outside, it's perfect for that as well. 83 degrees by 6 o'clock. By 7, we're cooling into the upper 70s. Got to get some yard chores done. Fine weather for that as the sun drops a little bit lower, closer to the horizon. And by early tomorrow morning, we're cooling into the lower 60s. I don't know if you noticed it this morning, but I was out in the garden and I noticed how better it felt outside, how much better it felt. And tomorrow, I think you'll notice that it's almost a little bit on the cool side if you're out and about early Wednesday morning. We keep it mostly clear. Wind out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour keeps that cooler air filtering in as we go through tonight. So watch the forecast temperatures here as we go from this evening all the way into tomorrow morning. You'll see that we're waking up upper 50s and lower 60s. Now, this particular data source says that some of us will be cooling into the mid 50s. I don't know if we'll get quite that cool, but I definitely see us at least cooling into the lower 60s waking up Wednesday morning. And by Wednesday afternoon, we are going to be warming back up into the mid to upper 80s. This particular data source is not going quite as warm as the upper 80s. I was doing the same thing yesterday. I said we would make it into the upper 80s. That's exactly what we saw today. We will do the same tomorrow. And part of the reason why it does feel so nice, we've got this wind mainly out of the north-northwest today, and that's continuing to keep that cooler, drier air moving in. And I keep telling you, that trend holds through tomorrow, all the way into part of Thursday. Now, as we get into the end of the week, the temperatures start to go up, and then we have to turn our attention to what's happening farther toward the south. And when I say farther toward the south, I really mean the Bay of Campeche. It's not an organized storm right now. It's really hard to kind of pinpoint what the area of interest is, but it's a little bit of that very broad low pressure system that is starting to try and develop here over the next couple of days. It doesn't really look like it's going to be developing. A 40% chance for tropical development in the next 48 hours per the National Hurricane Center, but give it 5 days and we're looking at an 80% chance of tropical development as that slowly starts to track toward the north. Once it starts to enter the northern Gulf, that's when we start to expect that chance for tropical development. And then we start having to maybe be concerned about what it means for us, because watch what happens here. This is just one data source. This is not an exact forecast, but it does give you the idea that as we go through the next several days, as all of this rain in that center of low pressure begins to approach the northern Gulf, perhaps even western Gulf here, we're talking parts of Texas, that's 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Watch what happens with this system as we go throughout the weekend. Watch the rain shield from this starts to impact our area. And we're talking maybe some bands of heavy rain. The wind starts to pick up as we close out the weekend. That's later in the day on Sunday, then heading into the beginning of next week. And it's much too early still to talk about when we're going to get the most rain, if we're going to get a big impact from rain right now, because I'm still seeing solutions all over the place when it comes to these model forecasts. We're just trying to get you prepared for what's to come. 30% chance for rain at this point for Saturday. For Father's Day, 50-50 shot at rain and storms, and the same thing holds true for Monday.